who won the thumb war or the rock, paper, scissors on who gets the Dr. Seuss mic? And
Nathan always wins. I'll take that.
So he won, so he gets this?
Oh, no.
Okay.
So, Nathan and I work with an organization called Pangea. We've been working in Uganda for about 11 years now. And through that time, what we've done is kind of shifted while we've been working because we've learned while we've been working. Now we've always focused on education, but we primarily focus on literacy. And I like to tell a lot of people we're in the storytelling business. So we love events like these and we love hearing other people's stories. But I'm going to let Nathan tell a little bit about how our mission came to be and how we came to focus on what we're focusing on in Uganda and why it matters. And I'll tell you about what we're doing here in the United States.
I love it. Hi, everyone.
Hi.
It's great to have everyone here tonight. One of the things I love about such an event, it's about stories. And with stories, there's always history, all right? This particular moment, I know Sarah told us to close our eyes, but I want us to close our eyes again. And think about, please close your eyes. Everyone is looking at me. Think about your very, very favorite childhood book. How it felt to hold that book in your hands. Who were the characters in that book? Why did you love that book particularly? Who was telling you, who was reading with you that particular book? Take a moment. Now we can have our eyes open. Do you have that feeling in you? How did it feel? Can I have a few people to share? And can I know your favorite story books, the childhood books? Anyone willing to share?
I loved biographies,
Okay.
autobiographies, and especially ones that had a lot of adventure in them. They opened up the world for me.
Amazing. Do you have any specific one?
I loved the book Peace Child.
Why?
It was set in Papua New Guinea, and it made me want to live in another part of the world.
Amazing. Amazing. Anyone?
Can you repeat what they say so it's in the mic? Oh.
There's a story called Peace Child. It was set in Papua New Guinea, and it kind of embodied adventure and made you want to live in another place.
Great. Yeah, so every one of you here I know has their own personal childhood favorite book. I did have my personal childhood favorite book, and my book was called Gulu Gulu Goes to School. And the reason that's why I loved Gulu Gulu Goes to School is because Gulu Gulu was this goat that loved education. Can you imagine a goat wanting to be in school? So Gulu Gulu found her way to school, no matter the obstacles. And that story resonates with me personally because that's a kind of life that I went through. But I want to ask each one of you here, do you remember a story not read from a book that someone ever told you? Show of hands. Childhood. Yeah. Now, in Uganda, there is a culture that every time during the evening, what I've seen in the West is that you get to be read a book for when you're a child. Before you go to bed, your mother comes or your father comes and reads for your book. But the work that we do, we have seen that most children don't have access to books. And really, most of them don't even see a book. You only see a book while you're at school. So we thought, but the culture that is there is that every night, families get together and stories are shared before you go. So that is our dose of the book. You get a story told to you rather than being read to you. So we thought, how can we take these two different sections? There's a part of the story and then there is a lack of the books. So putting these two pieces together, we are working on producing children books in Uganda. And we produce these books from oral folklore stories. And then we get this into children's homes. How we do that is we do that through the mobile library. A mobile library in Uganda, just to give a context, in Uganda, we have a population of about 42 million people, but we have about only 47 libraries. 47. Now, I was working, and my time in the US here, I've seen almost each area that I go to, there is a library. And I'm like, I wish I was this fortunate to have such access. But the beauty is that we are getting libraries into people's homes through the mobile library. The mobile library is basically a bicycle, and you have a container on the bike, and we pack these books onto that container, and someone rides around every week to give books to families. That's the kind of work that we do in Uganda. But beyond just providing books, we also do teacher training. So our work is related to getting children literate by incorporating three core groups: the school, the home, and the community.
And we brought those books back here. We initially started doing this as a fundraiser, but as a heterosexual Christian white American male, I didn't realize all of the books here were made for me. It turns out 77% of children's texts in the United States are white only or animals only. So there's a huge, we're at a depravity for different types and diversity and just types of stories that reach here in the United States. So we've found a secondary mission underneath this because we think it's quite important. It's important for Ugandan kids to learn how to see themselves in their own stories. It's important for all of our kids to learn how to see Ugandan kids in the same stories. So we're bringing them here. We've been speaking with schools, chatting with kids, and it's amazing. There's a Ugandan community here, which we're so excited about. We've been sharing in this community, but also outside that community.
Thank you. Wow.